bird on the wing and let your love find you. All living things, hello everybody, let your love something, and you'll know what I mean. That's the season. All right, hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am just getting set up. I just got home a few minutes ago. And we are going to do some mini medicine card readings. So come on in. If you're watching me live, say hi so I know you're here, because I never know. The numbers always change on the Facebook Live thingy, and I never know if people are there or who might be there. So come on in and say hi. And you know, I didn't think about it before, but if you know someone who needs some extra guidance right now, you could actually tag them in the comments and share the love. So I'm just, oh wait, just getting ready. Got a special candle that my fiance got me to dedicate to the Ukraine. All right, so come on in. Hello, welcome. My name is Patrick, and I am your friendly neighborhood shaman. And we are going to do some mini medicine card readings. So what we do on Monday nights, if you have not been here before, I have this lovely deck of cards where each card has a different totem animal on it. And what we do is I pull 3 cards, 3 different animals, just awaiting to walk with you in this week, lend you their strength and their confidence and their courage and whatever other gifts and medicine they might have for you. And then I will read them. Your job is to choose a number between 1 and 3. And whichever number you chose, or whatever animal corresponds to the number you chose, I'll put it that way, that is your guidance for the week, that is your message for the week, and that is your animal spirit companion who will walk or fly or swim with you throughout the week and give you the benefit of their wisdom and their guidance. So come on in, join the circle, choose a number between 1 and 3. And I'm a little bit whacked out tonight. I'm a little tired. I've been theoretically doing readings all day long, but apparently no one else got the memos, so I'm really tired from just sitting around all day. But got some drawing done, got some comics work done. For those of you who don't know, I am a cartoonist as well. In fact, you can check out my comics on my, I have a blog where I post my latest comics. It's at drawingbreath-comic.blogspot.com. And I will post I'll post the link in the comment in the description and everything. But you can check out my latest comics. I'm doing a comic now. I think I'm on page 19 of a comic that kind of chronicling what happened in a vision quest that I took in September. And there's at least a half dozen more pages to go. Ooh, need more of that smudge. Here, I'll give you some smudge. Release all those energies, clear those energies. From the world, from today, from the weather, from the world. Release all energies that are not your own. Settle back into your own essence, your own truth of being. Awesome. So here we go. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Gonna shuffle them one more time. I'm gonna take a bite of my sandwich because I'm hungry. I'm gonna shuffle again because it's not polite to talk with your mouth open, mouth full. All right. So choose your numbers. 1 through 3, or a couple of numbers, or all 3 numbers, whatever your little heart desires. All righty. So here we go. Number 1. If 1 was your card, you got squirrel. There's a joke coming up when I show you the second card, but squirrel is about resourcefulness. Squirrel is about abundance, but not necessarily in the same way that like buffalo is. You know, buffalo is like the embodiment of Mother Earth and provides everything through himself, his physical being, provides the meat and the clothing and the shelter and tools and all of that. Squirrel is also about abundance, but kind of the opposite of buffalo, whereas your resources are scattered. It's like when squirrel comes up, it's time to assess. It's really, what it comes down to is it's time to count your blessings, right? I guess I need a lot of smudge because my sage is still burning away. It's squirrel is about resourcefulness and about that whole attitude of gratitude they talk about, where you're in the flow. You know, squirrel finds a nut and like, oh my God, this is the best nut ever. And then he releases it, buries it, releases it back to Mother Earth. And then he finds another nut, and that's the best nut in the world. And he takes it and releases it back to Mother Earth by burying it, right? So it's like this constant flow. Just like our money is called currency for a reason, because it's a current. It is supposed to flow. No one is supposed to hoard it, because if someone hoards it, then people downstream don't get as much, right? And so that abundance is meant to flow. And so squirrel gets his nuts and his acorns, and he releases them, buries them. And so rather than the way we tend to think of like squirreling away something, as in hoarding, as in making some future date more important than this moment, because at some future date we might be hungry. So we better hoard these nuts and acorns so we know where they are so we can eat them. Well, the squirrel doesn't need to do that because he goes and he buries these nuts and acorns, and so his abundance is widespread, right? And so he is totally in the moment. It's like happy surprise, accepting with gratitude the bounty of Mother Earth and all the nuts and the acorns that he finds. And he buries them, and come some cold winter day when he is hungry, he's like, oh my God, there was that great big giant acorn that I buried over there. I'm going to go dig it up and eat it now. So by being in the moment, he's taken care of in every moment after that, if that makes sense. So it's like by staying in the moment, accepting the blessings, counting your blessings, being grateful for what's coming for you, letting go of it, releasing it back to the current. That is a lot of smoke. Let me see if I can move my... They always say that, the spirit of the sage knows how much smudging is needed. I must need a lot of smudging because it's like going like crazy. Anyway, so being in the moment, come that moment when he's hungry, it's like, oh, I have all those nuts buried. I can go find one. And of course, because squirrel cannot possibly remember where he buried every single nut and acorn, some of them they remain in the ground and they grow into trees and bushes. And so squirrel's resourcefulness, squirrel's abundance becomes the abundance of the woods, because oak trees grow from the acorns that squirrel's forgotten and begins to bless the earth with hundreds and thousands of more acorns. And so everybody benefits from this resourcefulness of squirrel. He maintains that current by receiving and releasing. Inhale, exhale. Because you are always safe. You always have everything you need in any given moment. And that doesn't mean you can't plan ahead. You can't, that doesn't mean, oh, I can't plan for the future. And I'm not saying either that you shouldn't have a bank account or you shouldn't have money in the bank. What I'm saying is more of a conscious awareness of what you have flowing through your hands, and that those who are connected to a wider, deeper portion of the river may have bigger ponds and reservoirs to carry that water, to hold that water, but it needs to come back out into the main current again. That's how everyone gets fed, everybody gets taken care of, everybody's needs are met. Because we can't own anything. Everything we have is borrowed. Everything we have is temporary. Because come that day when it is time for you to pass on from this lovely world, the only thing you can take with you is the love in your heart. Right now, in this world, from our perspective, from the perspective of society, the only real things are the things you can touch and hold and hoard. But the only real thing is the things that you can't touch. And that's because it's who you are. Your energy, that love within your heart, the love you have for others, that is all part of who you are. Your essential being, your divine being, that part of you that is connected to Creator, Great Spirit, whatever you want to call the divine source. That is the only thing that you take with you. That is the only thing you technically own, because it's not something you have, it's who you are. Okay? So trust in the affluence of the universe, the abundance of the universe. Know that the universe wants you to succeed, and the universe will give you everything you need in any given moment. And that's when you have that open-minded approach to life. When you're counting the blessings that you have, the universe opens you up to more opportunities, more happy surprises. So, and that's not to say, it's not like, just be happy with what you've got. That's not saying that at all. It's not about settling and, oh, I'm not good enough to have that. It's, wow, look what I've got. Look at the miracles in my life. Look at everything that's happened to me to get me to this point in my life. And wow, why would it stop now? Seriously, you got to this point. Why would those blessings stop now? You didn't come this far just to come this far. So you can trust the more, and that's part of that, that exercise that people do, like writing down 3 to 10 or whatever number of things that they are grateful for when they go to bed at night or when they wake up in the morning. Because the more you focus on, it's that phrase of, energy flows where consciousness goes. And so again, that's to remind you that, like I just said, the currency, the abundance, money, well-being, whatever, that is all part of abundance, part of well-being. And it is that flow. And when you focus, whatever you focus on, that's where the energy flows. So you count your blessings, you focus on your blessings, focus on the miracles that got you where you are. Those miracles will continue. Okay? So that was number 1. Number 2. Number 2 is moose. If 2 was your number, where is moose and squirrel? Moose is one of my favorites. It's one of kind of the house favorites. Moose is about self-esteem. Moose is what I call majestic dorkiness. If you've ever seen a moose in person, whether at the zoo or in the woods, they are huge. They have a presence. They are majestic. They are so big and they are so powerful. And from my own experience, it's like moose medicine is very similar to like African lion medicine. They have that same kind of vibe of royalty, of majesty. And yet moose is one of the dorkiest looking animals on the planet. But looks can be deceiving, right? Hunters used to think, oh yeah, we'll go moose hunting. They'll be easy to find because they're so big and bulky. They must be breaking down branches and, leaving a bunch of debris in their path. And moose is a deer. Moose is the biggest member of the deer family. And along with that comes this nimbleness, this gracefulness. They cannot be found any more than other deer can be found. And that's what, we grow up usually with something that we're embarrassed about, we feel shame about, or something we like and nobody else likes it, so there's obviously something wrong with me. And so it's like like hypothetically, it's almost like having a third arm or something, right? Oh, I don't want anyone to see that. But if you've got this, appendage and you're trying to hide it all the time, you're like, look at me, like as soon as I do that, you're hiding it. I'm crouching over. I'm hiding it. I'm trying to conceal it. I'm tightening up. If you're tightened up, if you're crouching, if you're being smaller than you truly are, then you are not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to stand straight and tall the way you're meant to. You're not going to be able to walk with the stride you're meant to walk with because you're trying to hide something. And so by accepting all the crazy perks and, letting your geek flag fly, owning what it is that you're crazy about, the things that you obsess about, that is part of the medicine, part of the gift you came to give the world. It's those same things that make us stick out from the crowd that we brought with us to give to the world. It is those things that we are passionate about that feeds the world, and our own unique vibration frequency, our own unique piece of the puzzle of the whole. Those things are necessary, or why it's part of the overall pattern. And so own those things that you were teased about when you were a kid, the things that made you stand out, the things that made you different. Those are the exact things that are your gift. That is your power. Fully and unapologetically, we are able to stand in our full glory, walk with our heads held high. Moose knows he's dorky, but he flaunts it, right? It's like, I am the king of the woods. No one can tell me differently, And part of it, too, you've got the antlers on the head. And what are those antlers but radar to creator? So it's symbolic, like, there's so many things like with yoga and different spiritual practices and meditation where they tell you to, you're supposed to straighten your spine as much as you can because it's like that Kundalini energy, there's the chakras, and standing tall opens those up and allows that energy to flow, right? Moose is opening up that seventh chakra, the crown chakra, to the divine light and allows that to flow through. And you can't, if you're crouched over, then that energy is not as clear and unblocked as it could be. So no, there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. You are perfect the way you are. And that doesn't mean you're done growing. It doesn't mean you've peaked. It means in this moment, there is nothing else needed from you. There are no more obligations. There are no more responsibilities in this moment other than being you. Because that is all that the universe wants. You're a human being, not a human doing. If you did nothing but sat on the couch for 50 years, but you did so with full consciousness and in your power and connecting to spirit, the world would still be a wonderful, you would be adding to the vibration, to the upliftment of humankind. You don't need to produce anything. You are perfect, and every little thing about you is perfect. Every little crazy little obsession, whatever it is you enjoy doing, there is nothing wrong with any of that. It's who you are. those things are an expression of who you are and who you came here to be. To other people, it might look like you've got these weird antlers on your head. You may look ungainly and awkward, but like I said, he might look that way, but Moose is graceful and nimble. I actually saw a video once of a moose. I remember it was walking or running, but it was like a really shallow river, right? And so it looked like he was walking on the water. And the comment of the guy that did the video was like, "It's the Messiah!" But be your fabulous self. Don't let anyone, there is nothing you need to be ashamed of. Nothing. You have never done anything that deserves shame or guilt. It's all part of that perfect plan. And those things that we regret, those things that make us different, that's the opportunity to say, hey, I did that. That didn't get the results I wanted, so I never have to do that again. You know, let me grab something right here. I just looked over. I've got my little altar here. Little, it's kind of big. My altar to, like I said earlier, I'm a cartoonist, and I have my altar to my comics, to cartooning. It's got a prayer candle to Charles Schulz. And I looked over at one of the people on my altar there, and this is Rurouni Kenshin. He's a samurai, the cartoon character, comic character, anime character. He's a samurai who, in the Meiji era, actually sided with the government that was trying to wipe out the samurai, trying to bring the Western, more Western, modern civilization to Japan. And so he killed like thousands of people in the anime. But at the end, he regretted it. That's not who he was. And he had two choices. He could either punish himself by killing himself, taking himself out of the equation, or he can redeem himself. And what he did, he had a special sword made. If you know anything about the katana, the Japanese katana, one side is flat and the other side is the sharp end. He had a reverse blade sword made so that the side that is normally the sharp side that you would strike people with was flat, and the blade part was actually underneath where the flat part of the sword normally was. And so by flipping that, reversing that, he was able to use his sword to protect others, to promote life rather than to take it. And by doing so, by deciding to stick around and redeem himself, realizing he could do more good in the world, change the world for the better by staying alive than he could by leaving, he created, in the anime, created this whole family for himself, and saved lots and lots of people. So I know he's just a cartoon character, just a little anime guy, but the mythology of it speaks so much to me. And that's, don't regret anything you have done has been for the experience of it. And then you have a choice. You can either punish yourself and continue the guilt and the shame. But what does that do? Well, that doesn't do anybody any good, especially you. It doesn't add to the beauty and the upliftment of the world, right? So the best thing you can do is say, I did that. now I have that experience and I can help others who may be, some of the best, what's the word I'm looking for? Proponents for say getting kids off of drugs are the ones that were the deepest into the drug culture, right? It's the people who were there in the darkest places that can bring the most light to the world. And that one of my favorite authors, Martha Beck, talks about, if you want to know what your purpose in life is, take the worst thing that has ever happened to you and take the one thing that speaks the most, that makes your heart sing. Between those two, that is your life purpose. That is your purpose. There are no accidents. Things happen for a reason. That's a really different thing than I've ever talked about with Moose before, and had no expectation that that's where I was going to go with it. But you are perfect. You are majestic. You are magnificent. There is nothing you need to hide. There is nothing shameful about you. You are a divine being. Okay? So that was Moose. That was number 2. Number 3. If 3 was your card, you got the Lynx. Lynx, if that's your card, Lynx is the keeper of secrets. It's said that, like the Sphinx, in Egypt and in legend, there's the riddle of the Sphinx, that they are all connected to Lynx. It was actually a lynx, not a lion, because Lynx is the keeper of secrets. Lynx has the answers to the riddles. So Lynx is kind of like the matron saint of psychics and seers and readers. So if that's your card, believe in your path, believe in your visions, believe in your intuition. Start validating what you're picking up because it is true. Trust your feelings when it comes to meeting someone. If you instantly love them or instantly hate them, trust those feelings. Because Lynx, look at that gaze. She doesn't look at you. She looks through you. And with just one look, she knows everything about you without having to ask a question. That's why she's the keeper of secrets, because she sees what's going on. And it's not a judgmental thing. It's just an observational thing. And so when you're picking up those feelings or those intuitive hits about, no, I don't want to go hang out with that person, trust that, validate that, and know that that is coming from a deeper place. A lot of times when Lynx comes up, I tell, like in a reading, I usually tell the person, if you're not doing some form of readings or psychic stuff right now, that you might want to look into it. Because you have the gift. Of course, it can manifest in all kinds of different, you don't have to just sit at psychic fairs and do readings or whatever. You can use your intuition in different ways. There's psychic mediums. There's even, working with the police on missing person cases, etc. Different things like that. But you are psychic. You have the sight. You have that connection to spirit, that you can trust the thoughts that come into your head. You can trust the feelings that come into your heart, because you see You see with your heart, not your eyes. And so you do, whether you're like doing it professionally, you do read people. You can't help it. You see someone, you know everything about them. You see someone like, oh yeah, they're gonna have a fight with their wife tonight or something. You know, there's different things like that that you know. And it doesn't mean you need to do anything about it. That's the other part of this medicine, of Link's medicine, is discernment. She's the keeper of secrets, not the giver of secrets, right? So she holds her own counsel. She keeps those secrets close to her. And the only, just like the Sphinx, the only time she gives an answer is if she's asked. We don't just go around, just because we can see that someone is, you know, going to have something bad happen in the next week or so. It's not our place to tell them that just because we can see it. It's like we have the ability to read signs that others don't. When you're a reader, whatever, in whatever function, and people come to you, they're not paying you to give them the answers that they want or to placate them or to fix things. You read, it's like you read a different language, and so you're able to see things that they can't. And that's what it's as if they brought this book that they can't read. And so you read it and you translate what it says. When you're a reader, that's all you do. It's not your job to judge. It's not your job to tell them what they have to do. Like, oh my God, you need to do. This is what I see. And you leave the rest up to them. They can ask for help. They can ask for suggestions. And then you happily give those secrets. But Lynx is the keeper of secrets. And as the keeper of secrets, she also can't have secrets from herself. You know, those mind games that we always, you know, since we were kids, we play mind games with ourselves. We try to be something we're not, or pretend we're not something that we are. So we hold these little secrets and hide from ourselves. I was just listening to Kyle Cease on my way home, and he was talking about how his little girl likes to play hide and seek with him, but she'll be sitting on his lap like, let's play hide and seek. He's like, okay, I'm going to start counting, and she'll pull the blanket up over her head. She's still on his lap. He knows exactly where she is, but they're playing hide and seek, so he counts, and then he pretends like he can't find her for a while, and then, oh, there you are. We play hide and seek with ourselves. Everything is right there. And the more you accept your whole self and everything about you, the more easily the energy flows, that currency of energy, and so you can be opened up in order to see what other people may need to know. It's all connected. Another thing about Lynx, kind of along that line that just came to me a few weeks ago, actually, you know, Lynx's feet are huge, right? They basically have snowshoes on their feet so that they can run on the top of the snow and the snowbanks. They don't fall in, right? Well, if you're carrying a lot of baggage, and so you're weighed down, you're carrying all this baggage, and why did I do that, and how could I have done that? You're going to sink into the snow. You have to release that baggage in order to stay above the snow line and be able to catch the snowshoe rabbit, right? So to feed yourself, to nourish yourself, to do what you were put here on this planet to do, to fulfill that purpose, you have to forgive yourself. You have to be clear. You have to open up. And it's like dealing with our own filters, dealing with our own, because the more issues we have that we hold on to, the more we project those into the world. And everything we see gets filtered through that perspective. And so you can't be an effective reader, intuitive, whatever, if you've got these filters that every time someone comes to you and are upset about, I'm just trying to think of an example, but my mind's going blank. But you might like, anytime someone comes to you with a relationship problem, you're like, oh, you got to leave them, without really looking at what's going on. Instead of looking at what might need balancing, see what what this person's contributing to the challenge, as well as the person that they're in a relationship with or whatever. It's like looking clearly. Look at those eyes. She looks and she sees, she knows. So those are our 3 cards. Number 1 was squirrel, resourcefulness. Number 2 was the moose, self-esteem and majestic dorkiness. Number 3 was lynx, the keeper of secrets. So we have time, yay. What I like to do, if you're new here, just to explain everything I just said. And if you came in late, you can rewatch this. I'll share it to my Facebook page, and I will upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So you can watch it again if you missed part of it, if you want to choose a different number or whatever. But everything that I've said to this point, to your perspective, is secondhand knowledge. It's hearsay, right? No matter how good someone is, it's hearsay. When I tell someone something, it's hearsay. So one of my main jobs in this world is to empower people, is to teach people how to get their own intuitive connection, right? And so what I do at the end of these videos, I'm going to do a little guided shamanic journey to have you meet. We're going to journey to meet whichever animal has chosen to walk with you this week. Talk to them yourself, get their message from them, right from their mouth, as that has so much more importance and significance than anything that I've said. And approach this with expectant curiosity. Expect something to happen. Know that something will happen, but you're curious to know what it is. Sometimes animals will show up that weren't even in this deck. Sometimes a different animal than the one you chose will show up. Trust what happens. Whatever happens is what's meant to happen. Your spirits and your relationship with your spirits holds its heads and shoulders above anything that anyone ever tells you. That's why I refuse to tell people what their totem animals are. I could do it, but I refuse because especially a totem animal is, these are like your spirit guides. They kind of come and go. But your totem animal is like, it's like an identity. It's like the clan you were born into. Like you were born into the wolf clan. It's part of your identity, just like the sign you're born under. It has more to do with who you are, your identity, rather than just something that an animal that comes along to help you with a particular thing or challenge or whatever. And that's why I don't tell people, because it's such an intimate thing. I want people to connect to their own totems and have it as an experiential experience. I don't know what other experience you can have, but I want it to be experiential. I want it to be palpable. So that once you have that experience of that connection and feel that connection and hear the words right from the animal's mouth, there is no one that can take that away from you. And then it's not hearsay. Then it's not like, well, this one guy told me one time that moose was my totem. So I guess it's like the whole point of the totem is identity and to connect to it, to identify with it, to work with it. The word totem, I believe it's a Cherokee word, actually means kin. So it's literally family. And I'm not going to tell you that which one is your family, because that's for you to approach and to experience. So anyway, so what we're doing, that was another tangent. I apologize. But so I'm going to beat my drum here a little bit for the background, and we're going to do a journey to meet whichever animal chose you this week. Even though you chose the number, the animal chose you. So we're going to do a journey to meet that animal, or whichever animal is appropriate to meet you, and get their message, get what they've come to help you with. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Take another deep breath. And release it. Feel yourself supported by wherever you're sitting, the ground, a chair, a couch. Feel it holding your weight, lovingly buoying you up. Just relax, surrender to this moment. And I want you to bring your awareness to your forehead, to your third eye, kind of between and up from your other two. And just like one of your other two, I want you to open it up and look out into your imagination. You find yourself on the edge of a forest. You're back to the trees, feeling the coolness behind you and the bird song wafting out from the leaves. And in front of you is a vast meadow. You hear the buzz of the insects. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face. You watch the butterflies and the dragonflies zipping and meandering around. And in the middle of this meadow, you see a great rock with a flat top, just begging to be sat upon. So make your way through the meadow. Feel the long grasses brushing against your legs, against your fingertips. Feeling the breeze, watching it bend the grasses in waves, dancing with the bugs and the butterflies. And when you get to that big rock, go ahead and climb up on it. Find it surprisingly comfortable. You feel the warmth of the sun-warmed stone beneath you, the warmth of the sun on the top of your head, and the coolness of a breeze on your cheek, holding you at the most comfortable possible temperature. And as we sit here, we invite whichever animal chose to walk with you this week to come and meet you here on this rock. welcome them in. Come join us. And when they arrive, thank them for coming and meeting you in this way. You can scratch them behind the ear, kiss them on their fuzzy nose, whatever seems appropriate. And just feel in your heart that gratitude that they came here to meet you eye to eye, heart to heart. And now I'm going to be quiet for a minute or two and allow you to ask your animal guide what they came here this week to help you with. What gift did they bring you? And what message do they have for you? So I will be silent for a moment and let you talk to them. So it comes time to bid them farewell for now. Release our animal friends to return where they came from. Thank them for meeting you here in this magic meadow. Scratch them behind the ear or under the chin. Kiss them on the nose, whatever feels appropriate. Thank them again for coming and let them return the way they came. And as they disappear, only for this moment, know that they are always with you. And even if they did not appear in this guided journey, they are still with you. Will appear at a different time, in a different form. So it comes time to return to our place here in our third dimensional reality. So begin to feel that stone beneath you transform back into the chair or the floor, whatever it is you are sitting on. Become more aware of your physical body, the temperature around you, wherever you are. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can tap on your legs or on your shoulders. Bring yourself fully back into your physical form. When you are ready, at your own pace, you may slowly open your eyes, coming back fully alert, fully awake into this place and this time. How was that? I'm always curious. It's normally in non-COVID times, I would do that in person with people so I could actually find out what happened, who they talked to, all of that. So if you had an experience and you want to share it, please feel free to share it in the comments. Even after this video is done, I would love to hear about it. If you have questions, I will answer them. I love helping. That is my job, is to empower others. And so whatever I can do to validate your experience, I am there for you. And like I said, if nothing happened, if no one appeared, you haven't done anything wrong. There's no getting this wrong. It just means that for whatever reason, this was not the appropriate forum for them to appear for you. So if that were the case, pay attention to your dreams this week. Pay attention to what gets your attention. Like, pay attention if you're all of a sudden your ears prick up because you hear something in a conversation on the bus or something, or some image catches your attention on the internet or whatever. Pay attention to those, especially if number 3 was your card. And trust what you get. It might come as, like a conversation. You might get just a download, a feeling, a knowledge of something that you didn't know before. You might get just feelings. Everyone receives their messages differently. So just because this didn't work out the way you had wanted it to, or like everyone else's, you are unique and you have a unique connection to the divine. And it will come. And the animal is still with you, walking with you, and lending you their strength, their courage, whatever other gifts they have specifically to them. So, I think that is it. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, if you came in late or if you're new, you want to rewatch this, I'm going to share it to my Perching Wolf Studios Facebook page and also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, where you can subscribe and you can like it and make me popular and whatever. What else? And if you enjoyed this, you too can have a personal reading by me and get a reading completely to yourself. 5 cards at least, sometimes even more. And more pertinent, not this kind of generalized New York Times horoscope type thing, but more specifically what you need to know, which animals are showing up to help you through whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, or what you need to know right now. This is my love and my joy. So check into that. Come see me for a reading. You can check my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. You can see the different shamanic services I offer, soul retrievals and fairy doctoring and the card readings, and I'm a minister, so I do ceremonies, etc., etc. It's like so many things that I don't know how to actually bottle it. So just check out my website to see if anything resonates with you, and you can make an appointment right from my website. And if you're local, we can do it in person, or we can always do it over Zoom. Even if you're local and just want to keep the distance or whatever, if it's easier, that's fine. So we are unlimited in our choices, and I would love to help empower you, support you, just as you support me by watching these videos. Please share this video if there's anyone that you know that needs some extra guidance. Pass it along. Oh yeah, Valerie, my fiance, just reminded me another thing that I do that's similar to soul retrieval is soul remembering. It's something that I learned from Sandra Ingerman when I took her soul retrieval workshop. And basically, rather than like soul retrieval where I go out and find soul parts that are missing or that have split off and bringing them back to help a person be more whole, I was talking about purpose, right? I can journey, I have my guides take me back to a point in time just before you were born, just before you came into physical reality, so that purpose, that intention that you came into this life with is still vital and alive, before it had a chance to get educated out of us and have us forget what it was. And so we call that soul remembering. I can actually bring that memory of your purpose, of what you came into this life for, bring it into who you are now. So I just, this the best job in the world. I love this work. It is amazing. And I've humbled and excited about it, and the people I've been able to help, the stories I get to kind of witness as people heal, it is amazing, and I love it. So if there's something I can do to help support you in your growth and your spiritual path, let me know. We will make an appointment. I also have, starting in March, I have a year-long course in shamanism. It's a monthly course. We meet for 3 hours once a month, and each month we explore a different aspect of shamanism. And someone said in a shamanic workshop I was at one time that once you know how to do a shamanic journey, all the other classes and workshops are about what questions to ask. And so throughout that year, I will be teaching you what questions to ask, which new spirit guides to meet, where we can journey, what other worlds and realms there are to journey to. So if that sounds good to you, my intention is to schedule another introduction to shamanic journey class before that time. If you don't know how to journey, contact me and we can set something up one-on-one if I don't get the whole class set up. But that is my passion. That is my purpose. And I love it. So, and it's a lot of fun. If you can't tell, I could talk about this stuff for hours and hours. I enjoy it so much and I love it. And so, this will be the 5th or 6th year I've done this, and each year, each class seems to start a little bit higher up from where the last class did. So it's like I learn, and as I learn, the students learn. As the students learn, I learn. It's just mutual healing, mutual growth, walking each other home. So check that out also on my website. And if you've really enjoyed this and would like to donate, I gratefully, humbly accept donations, and my PayPal info will be underneath in the description for this video as well. So for that, I thank you as well. If you feel so moved in that direction, thank you. So that is it for this week. Have a wonderful week, my friends. Call on these spirit guides to help you. Ask them to you can ask to feel their presence. Ask them to make their presence known, and you will be amazed at the miracles that happen, the things that happen. So until I see you next time, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I love you. Did I say I love you? I love you, I see you, and I honor you. That's what I say. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. Go shining. All right. Goodbye, everybody.